Hello, everybody, and welcome to Comically Incompetent. My name is Doug, and this week we are continuing our anniversary month by having a special guest, Dom. Dom, how you doing?
I'm doing as well as I can be.
Yeah, we are recording this at 8 a.m. on the time change, so it feels like 7 a.m. And I forgot to try the beer, so I am drinking a beer called Total Domination IPA from a brewery that is called Ninkasi Brewing Company for a movie that I know that we hold close to our hearts. Dom, what are we doing this week?
We are reviewing Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
I'm
now,
so
Doug,
excited.
Once upon a time, there was a boy that had Godzilla sheets. And once upon a time, there was a man that grew up from that boy who has Mothra as his phone lock password. This is that man.
Dude, I remember when they first... Because I didn't know you yet when the first of this series of movies, Godzilla movies, came out. But then when they came out with King of the Monsters, I don't think I've ever seen you so excited.
I think I didn't even realize how much I love these movies until we saw this one in theaters, and I was like, oh yeah, this is like my favorite thing.
But we didn't just see it in theaters. We saw it in that special, what was it called, like D-Box?
The Dolby Atmos theater, yeah. Oh, you could like feel Godzilla walking in your chest.
That was
perfect.
Probably my up there, like my top 3 favorite theater experiences of all time was seeing this movie in Dolby Atmos.
It was amazing. Yeah,
with you and Grayson. Oh, and do you still have that picture? You took a picture with the cardboard thing they have in the lobby.
Yeah, it was like
that was awesome.
It's kind of like this actually.
It was, yeah. I just want to say, holy crap, this movie is awesome.
Oh, it was everything. It was literally everything that I wanted it to be in the theater. It was perfect for me. I know some people don't think it is perfect, obviously, but it was all I wanted it to be.
This one, I definitely felt the same way. The first one with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, I thought was an okay movie. Godzilla was the best part, but he wasn't in as much. I don't know how much they amped up the budget to have Godzilla on screen this much, and not just Godzilla, but Mothra, and I can't remember the name of the one with the 3 heads.
Ghidorah.
Yeah, Ghidorah, like...
King Ghidorah, sorry.
I'm sorry. But how much money they would have spent, because the amount of hours of rendering and animation and CGI and everything they would have to put in, even just for Godzilla alone, imagine all the other monsters. Like this, the budget for this movie must have been absolutely insane compared to the first one, at least.
Right, and it include like the scope, but also the quality of everything.
Definitely.
Even the music is amazing. It's perfect.
Yeah, this was one of those movies that I feel like a lot of people would write off a movie like this just because, like, oh, it's just going to be a CGI fest. But that's one of those movies that you have to see it because it's really good. Like, they did a phenomenal job on all the aspects of this movie.
It was a love letter to any kaiju fan in the world.
So, yeah, kaiju is a term it's a term for, like, monster. Because I always think kaiju as, like, Pacific Rim. Like, those were kaijus.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that's, like, a universal term. Like, Godzilla's a kaiju.
Yeah, it's really just a term for a big monster that usually comes out of the ocean.
Yeah. So how much did you know about a lot of this movie going? Because I know, did you watch, like, the old shows of Godzilla and stuff like that?
I did. I remember many of the old Godzilla films. I can't like name any specific one. I just remember like pieces of all of them because my dad and I watched them as a kid. But yeah,
that's amazing. Do you think we're gonna get Jet Jaguar?
We have to. We have to at one point. He's so ridiculous. I think if Godzilla versus Kong goes well, I think we have a chance at Jet Jaguar.
I hope so. We got to do Godzilla versus Kong because that comes out since we're recording this. It comes out in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Yeah, the 25th, I think.
We're gonna have to do that soon. We're gonna have to do a review of that because I'm excited for that movie. It's gonna be good.
Right.
I wish we could see it in theaters, but I don't think it's gonna happen for a little while.
No, unfortunately not.
But so this one I also thought was interesting because they also not just amped up like the CGI and stuff. They amped up the cast. Like Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen were not like the biggest stars the time of the first one, so that wasn't like the big pull for that one was Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of a hot topic, but yeah.
Yeah, and this one had Kyle Chandler who came in, Millie Bobby Brown, who's one of the biggest stars right now because of Stranger Things, Ken Watanabe, Bradley Whitford, Sally Hawkins, like this huge cast. I mean, Thomas Middleditch, like a huge group of people came in for this one, and it was like a full cast, which is really cool to see because, like I said, the last one only had like 3 stars, really, when you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And really, in my opinion, they all killed it for like what their characters were.
Yeah,
They all did a great job, I think.
yeah. Ken Watanabe, I think, is always fantastic, and he did a great job in this one.
He has many a stoic line, as we come to expect.
So as far as like your expectations, were you like, did this exceed? Was this like about where you thought it was going to be, or like when you went to see it in theaters?
It it's like seeing a dream come true. So I would say yes. um, yeah, I mean, I'll just leave it at that. I really think it did because seeing all these things that you saw as a child on screen, not like people in suits,
Yeah,
is just something that you can't really ask for more. It was amazing.
yeah. So getting into more like the storyline of this movie, I mean, where do we pick up with? You kind of learn about Millie Bobby Brown's character, and you realize her parents are separated, and they're both like scientists,
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
their
we
own
start with
rights.
her and her mom at
Yeah,
the research facility in China, um, and they are researching a Mothra, if I remember right.
yeah, yep. Because you get the like baby Mothra, and then it goes and like cocoons itself under a waterfall to then have a beautiful scene later in the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, that was one of the scenes in the trailer actually that like everyone was oohing ahhing about.
Yeah,
But yeah, from there, we have that terrorist group that I'm forgetting the name of, if they even have a name.
I don't even know if they have a name, but they are run by the dude from Game of Thrones. I know that for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. What's his name again?
He was Tyrion Lannister
Yeah, he
in
was
Game of
Tyrion.
Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dies on the toilet. That's all I really remember from his character.
Well, he doesn't die on the toilet in this movie, so that's a plus, I think.
No, but I think we're gonna see him again. I don't know if it's in Kong versus Godzilla because that there's an end credit scene for this movie that I don't think works for Kong versus Godzilla. But I think we're definitely getting another movie after Kong versus Godzilla, which I'm excited for.
Oh yeah, yeah. That'd be really cool if he shows up in the next movie. I didn't really think about that actually.
Because they have, we'll get to where they have. We'll get to where they
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
This is not this movie is like so. It's not even that long. What is it? It's only okay. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes, but it doesn't feel that long. But there's so much that happens. It's so compact with information and story and like characters that it's hard to take it like scene by scene. So I just want to basically just talk about like big scenes that you love, scenes that we could just go because you and I could talk about just I know like 1 or 2 scenes for sure for like another for an hour on its own.
Easily.
So I think we just take it big scene by big scene. I would just recommend watch these movies. The first one's pretty good. This one's phenomenal, and then watch Kong versus Godzilla when it comes out. But I think you and I could just take it big scene for big scene.
Definitely. And watch it on as big a screen as you possibly can.
Yeah, buy a projector from Walmart, get a big empty wall or a sheet, and just throw that there. Or go see it in theaters if they re-release. I hope they re-release these.
Perfect. Yeah. We're going by scenes. My favorite, it's not exactly scene, but like section of the movie is the whole part in Antarctica. It's
Yeah.
just,
Oh my
I love it.
god.
I love cold weather scenes in movies and just that whole part. Godzilla comes out of the ice. Oof, we'll get to that though.
Yeah. So they. So what? Someone was taken captive, right, and taken to Antarctica.
Yeah, so this terrorists come to the Chinese research facility, shoot the place up, and they take Millie Bobby Brown and her mom, that I'm forgetting the name of.
Is it
They t-
Vera Farmiga's her real name, and then Dr. Emma Russell is the character name.
I was gonna say Vera. Dang it, I was thinking that was someone else. But yeah, they take both of them, and because they have this device that can like communicate with the kaiju, and they can like kind of not make them do what they want, but kind of influence them to go do certain things.
Yeah,
And so they take that device and the two girls to Antarctica to go awaken one king kaiju.
Did they know that what they were unleashing? Do you think? Because I don't remember them ever saying like release Ghidorah, or like did they know? Do you think, or was it just like we want to
They
wake this one up? And because they're trying to wake them all up, but they end up waking up the king first.
exactly, yeah. They want to start with this one. I don't remember if they say a specific reason. I think they just think that this one's a pretty strong one, so they
Yeah,
want to start with this one and then go do the other ones later. But obviously, they don't understand the implications of their actions.
they never do.
Yeah, which are actually very clear, like 5 seconds after he wakes up.
Yeah,
But
because yeah, there's like amazing scene of it, like a shootout in the ice and stuff. But then it ends up waking up Ghidorah, who is, I think, probably one of the coolest kaiju I've ever seen on screen.
I was worried he was going to be a little derpy just because he doesn't have arms and, like he has three heads, so it's a lot of animation work, but they
Yeah,
killed it.
yeah.
All of his poses are super strong, and they had like the different personalities per the three heads, and it was a lot of fun.
And the sound mixing on the roar was amazing because like Godzilla's sound mix on his roar has always been something that people have loved for a long time.
Yeah.
But this one was cool. This was like I remember like the inside of your chest shaking when Ghidorah roared in that theater.
Yeah, it was spine chilling. It made
Yeah,
you kind of like squirm a little bit. Like, that doesn't sound right.
yeah. Because the way they, if people don't know, the way they sound mix these roars is they take like 50 different kinds of animal growls, people yelling, and like all these different random sounds, and just like mix them all together in one like just jumbled roar that can but it sounds so good. Like it sounds like a roar. It's really cool the way they
Yeah.
do that. I don't know enough about sound mixing to be able to like really like into the specifics, but it's pretty interesting.
If I remember right, there's a lawnmower somewhere inside Godzilla's original roar.
Yeah, that's probably.
Um, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. So Ghidorah comes out of the ice, big roar, and I can't. I'm sure you probably looked at me in the theater when that whole scene was going on, but I'm sure my eyes were just like,
You were pretty wide eyed. You were in awe of that. I don't think I've ever seen her jaw drop like that.
but this leads into my absolute favorite part of the entire movie. So our main characters are trying to get away from Ghidorah coming out of the ice. He's shooting lightning everywhere and screaming, "Arr!" And then they get a blip on the radar, boo, boo, and then the music starts to swell up. And there's light coming from beneath the ice, and then boom, Godzilla comes out, and he just like looks at Ghidorah, and like you see this look on his face, like, "What have you done?" And it's beautiful. It's perfect.
It is a phenomenal scene. It is one that like I couldn't even process it in the theater. I remember having like when I saw it again, I was able to like really think about it. But that theater, everything is happening, the sounds, the roars, Godzilla's there fighting Ghidorah, and you're just like, what is happening? Like a little kid watching like I don't even know. It's so good. Yeah, that was a phenomenal scene. That is so well done. I think for me, my absolute favorite scene. So in the movie, Ghidorah beats the crap out of Godzilla. Godzilla is dying, and he goes to this like underground, like basically what was it supposed to be like? Their thing was like Atlantis.
The Hollow Earth.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Hollow Earth. And Ken Watanabe's character, who's been like in love with Godzilla from the beginning, he's I think one of the only characters to be in both of the movies because they have completely new cast, and I think he's the
Yeah.
only crossover. Him and I think maybe
And
Sally Hawkins.
yeah, I forgot her name. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that scene. Ken Watanabe goes and he basically kills himself, sacrifices himself to set off that nuke so that Godzilla could absorb that radiation and come back through the Hollow Earth. That was insane. I love that scene because that was like one that again I feel like a lot of people judge these movies too quickly before seeing them. That had so much emotion to it, more than even a lot of like Oscar-worthy dramas that you see like kind of come off as cheesy in the drama. This was like an actual like really good. Ken Watanabe performed it perfectly, and that the music swelling up, the nuke goes off, Godzilla comes back with just like this huge amount of radiation pulsing through him, to then come into like this huge, massive, amazing fight. It was like I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
Yeah, and his sacrifice really gives like this weight to the rest of the movie after that because he's a big character. He's like
Yeah,
he wasn't someone that I would have thought would have
yeah,
died off. Maybe in like a third movie, but and also there's some more like subtext to that whole part because apparently in one of the older movies, if I remember right, it was the other way around. Like Godzilla sacrificed himself to save. Um, I'm forgetting the scientist character's name, but the character that Ken Watanabe played.
Ishiro Serizawa?
Sirwa
Serizawa. Serizawa.
Sirzawa. There we go. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the older movies, it was reversed, so it's kind of like this flip.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the writers of this movie knew what they were doing.
Yeah, because as far as I grew up, I didn't know a whole lot about Godzilla. Like I knew what Godzilla was. I'd seen stuff about it, but I didn't realize. I think the fan base for Godzilla was so massive to a point like these writers took it so much more seriously than even a lot of like even some Marvel adaptations that kind of get lost in like the MCU. Like these writers took it so seriously to make sure that they got everything, every fan service, everything right, so that every fan who grew up loving Godzilla could get something out of this movie, which I really, really appreciate out of it.
Yep, it's they definitely understood their source material, even down to like like there's people on the higher level like the screenplay writers and everything
Yeah,
like that. But then even down to like the VFX and like the music. I'll give an example for the music. Um, Ben McCreary, I think that's the guy, the artist who did the music, if I remember right. Um, on Ghidorah's music, he did all of the beats and everything. They were based on threes instead of like other more common numbers. Because he's an alien from not from this planet, so he
yeah,
wanted to make it feel just kind of off, and also Ghidorah three heads.
yeah. That was an interesting twist in the movie. Having them not be a kaiju that was like, because they were like, all these kaiju's like Mothra and Godzilla were titans who had been on Earth long before humans and ruled the Earth, and then went to sleep, and then humans came along.
Yep.
And then that's the whole thing is like they're wondering like why is Ghidorah so much more powerful? Why does he have so much more abilities than the rest of it? Why is it he even like they're talking about like you were saying like he roars at different frequencies that are like not from Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was an interesting twist to have him be an alien, but it didn't come off cheesy either. When they figure out they're like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Right. He's I think he's from Venus, if I remember right, in the original movies.
Okay,
Yeah, or he was like sent by some other alien civilization to like to conquer Earth or whatever. It's something like that. I don't
for
remember.
total domination.
Exactly. So is total domination for Godzilla or just for me?
For you, of course. I
Uh,
I was thinking of it as like since that's the whole thing is Ghidorah just wants total domination.
yep.
Godzilla doesn't want total domination of the Earth. He just wants to basically just live his life.
He gets it though in the end.
He is king of the monsters in the end.
Uh-huh.
'Cause I want to also before we load, I want to talk about Kong vs Godzilla. What we think is going to happen in that before we end the show. But we got some time still.
Okay.
So this movie I think was like we talked about it was so amazing. But like when it comes to like the character development, this one did such a better job because I remember finishing the first Godzilla and thinking you didn't really need the humans. The movie was going to play out the way it played out either way.
Yeah. The main point of the humans, in my opinion, for the first movie was to tell a way to tell the story from a perspective that like the viewer can relate to or like
Yeah.
understand, I guess, because there's these I don't know 500 foot. I don't remember how tall he is. Sorry, Godzilla. But 500,000 foot whatever creatures. Like how do you show that to a regular person walking around every day?
Yeah.
And I think it really worked. But yeah, with the new movie, even like the side characters, like Ice Cube's son, I don't remember his character's name, but even him, like you feel like every character is genuine, like they're
Yeah.
an actual person in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, I liked a lot of like Bradley Whitford's character, who was like the quippy, snarky tech guy in the movie. I always like when movies have those, and he did a great job of being that. His name was Dr. Rick Stanton. I liked his character a
Hmm.
lot. I thought Sally Hawkins was always great. I like Thomas Middleditch in this movie as was it kind of like the nerdy rep. I don't even know
Yeah,
exactly what
like
his
he's a
character was.
lawyer, if I
Yeah, the
remember right.
lawyer, right?
Yeah.
He was a fun character. I think yeah, all the side characters did a good job. Millie Bobby Brown is obviously great. I think she can go on to be in like these if they keep doing Godzilla movies for a long time, which I think they should.
That'd be fun. I didn't even think if she's in the next one. I don't remember if she's on the cast.
I think there is a shot of one shot of her in the trailer for Godzilla versus Kong, but I think
Mm.
probably because I know that there were supposed to be three Godzilla movies, and I know in the contract Kong versus Godzilla it does not count toward the three,
Oh, really?
so I think
Okay.
there's supposed to be one more for sure, at least one more.
Nice.
So I think she'll come back for that. I think she could do a great job. But that was the thing was I remember Bryan Cranston was great in the first one, but he was pretty much about it. Everyone else did okay. This movie had like such an all-star cast. People did such a great job, and you care about the people just as much as you care about Godzilla. Whereas the first one, I was like, I don't care about the people. Just give me Godzilla on screen as much as you can.
Yeah.
But just talking about all the kaiju too. How many other do we see? We see obviously Godzilla, Mothra, Ghidorah,
Rodan.
Rodan.
Those are
Oh,
the.
Rodan is so cool in this one.
He was
Oh my god.
surprisingly cool. But yeah, those are the main four, and then we see, I don't know, like six other side ones, I think,
We see
just for
like
like a
some
couple shots.
weird ones, like some that I've never seen before. Like I've seen Rodan, I've seen Ghidorah before, I've seen obviously Godzilla and Mothra. So like all the big four are ones that have pretty big in pop culture over the years. Some of them was like you got like Sasquatch in there and like a giant
Yeah, there's
gross spider thing.
Yeah, the spider. I remember a couple of them. Like, I'm pretty sure all of them, maybe not a couple of them, but most of them were like original ones from, the original movies and shit.
Yeah, sounds like big fan service moment with uh, big fan service like when they came on screen, right? That was a lot of like I'm sure big fans were like that's that one, that's that one. I remember that one, and like stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But they weren't on screen that much, which was
Yeah.
okay. But
Rodan's as a kaiju didn't get like he had a big intro of like the volcano,
yeah, that was so cool.
and that was amazing. But then after that, he didn't serve a super purpose after that big scene.
Yeah, he was basically just like Ghidorah's servant after that.
Yeah,
He just kind of simps for whatever big beast is king for the day.
way to bring in that 2021 terminology for us.
You know me, you got to keep it current.
But he wasn't really working for Rodan, right? He was being because Rodan had that ability to like control them. Because once
Or-
Rodan's killed,
Ghidorah. you mean.
sorry, Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ghidorah had the ability to control. There's so
Yeah,
many
yeah.
names. Ghidorah had the ability to control. Once Ghidorah is dead, Rodan doesn't stops like trying to fight and kill Godzilla.
Yeah, I think it's just like they can. So there was that device that could like put out that frequency that could like influence them to what to do.
Yeah.
I think that the kaiju could also kind of do that, like give off that not pheromone, but like that frequency or whatever. But Ghidorah could do it really well, apparently.
Yeah,
He could do everything well.
but oh man, I forgot where I was going with this. But I want to talk about something about Rodan. I can't remember what it was now, but that volcano scene I think was probably one of the most well done scenes. That also like him taking down the planes and
Oh,
stuff.
that was cool. That whole like aerial fight between him and Ghidorah too, that was really cool. It was
Yeah.
brutal, but
I remember what I wanted to say. I want to give our special lady of this movie, Mothra, the time of day.
oh yeah, we have to.
Because basically, like we said in the beginning of the movie, they wake up Mothra, but like in the little, what's it called?
Cocoon.
No, it was like that, like before, what's before it was like a little caterpillar, a little worm.
Oh, like
form.
like a little chrysalis.
Yeah. And they wake up, and then it goes and basically hides in a waterfall, and you're like, I wonder what this payoff is going to be. And because it cocoons. But then when it erupts at the end of the movie from that cocoon, she comes barreling out of that. Holy crap. That music was beautiful. The lighting was amazing. Everything,
Yep.
the way they made that scene is stunning. And then she comes in full force and starts fighting Rodan as Godzilla's fighting Ghidorah, which is, I think, probably one of the coolest scenes in cinema history, in my opinion. Just as far as like action, CGI fest scenes, this is by far the best and coolest. That end fight scene.
It was amazing. Like, and they really did her justice. I was worried that like, cause she's a very important character in the older
Yeah.
movies and in this one. But I wouldn't call her a main character, I guess. She's usually kind of like a supplementary thing. At least in my opinion. Don't flame me, fans. um, but yeah, they definitely did her justice, and um, they brought back, not brought back, but they like went back to the common theme between her and Godzilla, and that was really cool.
Yeah, but as far as like her being like a big character in this movie, that was, I think she got a bigger cheer in this movie when she came on screen, like, and as Mothra, than I think even Godzilla really did in this movie, and the theater that we were in, at least.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that really love Mothra, and there's like some kind of primal mother aspect to her, I guess, that people get from her, and just they did her so well. The whole design and everything,
Yeah.
and even there's actually a song, I think it's called Mothra's Song or something like that, on the album. I've listened to it quite often.
Of course.
And it's like a direct homage to her original theme song
Oh, okay.
back in
That's
the
pretty
day.
cool.
Yeah.
I was reading something on the trivia, and it said that the way they designed her wings, I guess the eye spots were supposed to look like Godzilla's eyes to like form that connection between the two characters. Which I don't know if that's true. I'd have to go back and
I
see
could
it.
see it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
could see it, I think. That's
but
cool.
yeah, here it is. Mothra's screech in the film is a modified version of her original sound from the Toho series.
Yeah.
That's
That's
pretty
like
dope.
the original series, with
Yeah,
original Godzilla.
yeah. That's, I think the amount of fan service is something I did not realize until like you told me a lot about it, and because like I said, I didn't really grow up with this, so seeing like if you go through like the trivia on IMDb especially, it's just like lists of like this was from like a paid off for the original this, or this looked like the original this, or this character did this. Like it's so interesting the amount of fan service and things that they gave the fans that were like, hey, you remember this, little things like that. I like that about it.
Yeah, right. One thing that they didn't even like put like really push in front of you, or just like you have to notice it, is there's the in the original series there's these twin girls that are kind of associated with Mothra. I don't remember specifically how, but they're in the movie. Remember that Chinese girl that's in the big flying ship? She like researches stuff, and
Yes, yeah.
she has a twin that's at the Mothra site when Mothra hatches, and she's
Oh,
on
okay.
screen for like, I don't know, a couple seconds maybe.
Yeah,
So that was pretty cool. They included the twins. We'll see
yeah.
if they have more significance later. But
Yeah, that's the thing. I wonder if we're gonna get these certain characters again in the third one, because now I'm wondering if like that third one is gonna be whatever it is. Because if it is gonna be something separate from Congress Godzilla, like if because the leap in CGI from the first one to this one was so insane, adding in like all these different more kaiju and how well they looked. I want to know what they're gonna do if they do a third one. Like how mind blowing
yeah, it would
would
have
that
to
be?
be some big villain like Destroya or something, or Space Godzilla. No,
Mecha
no.
Godzilla maybe.
If he's not already done by then,
I think we get a Mecha Godzilla. That might be pretty cool.
that would be really cool.
Because I think the way it could work that is you have the terrorist group run by Game of Thrones guy being like maybe building it at some point, but then that I don't know.
Are we gonna discuss the scene after the credits, or are we gonna keep it hidden?
Let's do that. So just for context before we get there, uh, good guys win. Godzilla defeats Ghidorah, and you think that's the end, but there is an end credit scene. Dom, you want to tell us a little bit about it?
So earlier in the movie, after Rodan hatches or comes out of the volcano, I guess, he and Ghidorah fight. Ghidorah beats him. Godzilla comes in the scene, starts messing up Ghidorah and drowning him. He's literally drowning him.
It's so cool.
It was. But Ghidorah, or not Ghidorah, Godzilla rips off one of Ghidorah's heads, and then stupid humans nuke Godzilla. Then Ghidorah is fine, and he goes to the volcano, and he kind of regenerates his head. He can like heal his wounds and stuff, but he regenerates his entire head. And so in the end credits scene, we find that head that Godzilla ripped off, that some fisherman had picked up or whatever, and so the terrorist group now has that head.
that was an interesting end credit scene. But I'm curious if they're gonna maybe trying to see if they could rebuild Ghidorah from just the head. If the Ghidorah can regenerate the head, can the head regenerate the body?
Okay, you want to know what the rumor mill is saying?
I would love to. I would love to hear what the rumor is saying.
Okay, so in Godzilla vs Kong, they're saying that that terrorist group is going to use that regenerative ability of Ghidorah, or Ghidorah's head, I guess, um, to create the like outer layer of Mechagodzilla.
Okay.
So what they're saying is Mechagodzilla is posing as Godzilla in the new movie. That's why he's wreaking all this havoc. So it's
Interesting.
actually the Mechagodzilla blowing all this stuff up so that they can get people to hate kaiju.
That would be interesting because yeah, that's true. Because when you think about it, Kong and Godzilla are both good characters. The whole point is like misunderstood, but good characters.
Yeah.
So I knew that there had to. You and I've talked this before. There had to be some third party involved that they were going to then have to team up and fight. That would be interesting if it's going to be Mechagodzilla using.
It'd be really cool.
Oh,
Allegedly, I haven't like really taken a look at the trailer because I don't want to like spoil things for
yeah,
myself.
yeah.
But allegedly, in some of the shots that they showed in the trailer, Godzilla's a little bit smaller than other times.
Okay, yeah, because they're about equal size, and I don't remember Kong being that big. I mean, Kong
He,
Skull Island, he's pretty massive, but I don't think I remember being like Godzilla massive.
I think he was like Teen Kong back
Oh,
in
okay,
Skull Islands. Now he's like uh, young adult Kong.
okay. What did you
To,
think of Skull Island? How do you think that plays in with the rest of the series?
to be honest, I haven't watched it more than once. It was really cool. Like it
Yeah.
was better than I thought it would be, to be honest. Um, but yeah, it was good. I don't. It didn't feel as like significant for me personally, like Godzilla did. Probably could just because I'm not as big of a Kong fan.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So you're Team Godzilla over here for Kong versus Godzilla.
absolutely, Godzilla would stomp Kong any day.
That's I feel like that's just the obvious answer. Like there has to be a third party because there's no way. It's like Batman v Superman. Like Batman doesn't really stand a chance. We're gonna have to dumb. They had to dumb down Superman just to let Batman have a chance. I think that's the same thing. That's to kind of dumb down Godzilla. If it is Godzilla,
Yeah,
if it's Godzilla, they're gonna have to dumb him down for that to be even remotely a fair fight. Because I mean, we saw Godzilla take down some insane monsters in the past. There's no way that Kong is stronger than Ghidorah.
absolutely. And how many buildings has Godzilla taken to the face? Like,
That's true.
I don't
Yeah.
see Kong taking a skyscraper to the face. I'm just saying.
I think. Do you remember in the first one? There's that scene where well, I don't remember the monsters he's fighting, but then he just like grabs one, like opens his mouth and just like shoots it like like the whatever like it shoots out its mouth in your background, just like down its face.
Yeah, his atomic breath. Sorry.
Atomic breath. Ah, of course. Okay.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was like U.S. Godzilla, or what am I saying? That was like the U.S. production team saying like, "This is our Godzilla. Like,
Yeah.
take him or leave him,"
That was
and we
so.
took him.
Oh, of course. How could you not? When the pandemic first hit, my girlfriend had never seen any of the Godzilla movies, and I was like, and then right about when Kong vs Godzilla got announced, I was like, all right, sit down, we're watching them, and we finished them both. She's like, those were amazing. But to be fair, one of her favorite movies is Pacific Rim, and I think the second one, this one we're talking King of the Monsters, blows Pacific Rim out of the water as far as a kaiju movie goes.
It's it's just on a different level.
Yeah,
Like, if Pacific Rim were to have a sequel that was faithful and made by Guillermo del Toro, it probably could have competed, I think.
possibly. That sequel that they did have was really bad.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same. It was like Power Rangers, to be honest.
It was a lot like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
The first Pacific Rim was outstanding.
Absolutely. It's one of my like, what am I going to do today? I'll watch Pacific Rim.
Oh, of course.
Just throw it on.
Which makes me think a lot of like how like the kaiju movie genre is really starting to come back in like a big way in the U.S.,
Hmm.
which is really cool to see. I mean, Pacific Rim was a big start of it. Godzilla, now this one, Kong. Like Kong had been big. Peter Jackson did Kong not that long ago either, which was a really good Kong movie.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that like, the kaiju, the giant monster film, is coming back in a way of like a non. Because I think there's a lot where the U.S. made fun of like giant monster movies.
Yeah, there definitely was in like after Godzilla 2000
Yeah,
with Matthew Broderick.
I forgot Matthew Broderick was in that. Oh my god.
I didn't. um, but yeah, we kind of we were A made fun of and B made also we
Yeah.
made fun of ourselves for that. Um, and then there was like Cloverfield. We tried to make our own movies, and I personally love Cloverfield. A lot of people didn't. But it's still considered a kaiju movie, I think, in
I
that
think so.
vein.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've redeemed ourselves a bit.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to talk about King of the Monsters before we kind of go into some more Congress Godzilla talk?
I mean, there's so
There's
much,
so much.
but we kind of covered like a couple, the big points.
What's
And
one more big scene that you'd want to talk about? What's one more that you want to point out?
let's see. I mean, the entire fight at the end
Yeah.
is just insane. Like, there's no other way to put it. I remember when we saw it with Grayson,
Yeah.
and we were talking afterwards, and he was like, "Yeah, like the beginning was good, and then I feel like it got a little slow, and then the end, it was almost too much.
It was a lot.
There was just an insane amount of action. I don't think any of us could have anticipated how much would happen,
Yeah.
how messed up Boston would get."
Dude, that was some just like there's a lot of movies with some serious destruction. That was probably one of the most I've ever seen. Like that I can remember that I've seen in a movie. That was like the amount of destroyed city is and like
Yeah.
destroyed world because all the different kaiju being woke up around the world and destroying their like cities. Holy crap.
But in the long run, it's okay. All the trees came back,
It is
and
okay.
the world healed.
It healed better because that was the whole thing too. Is like that Godzilla's thing was taking away all like the industrialization that we built and making more like a clean Earth again. That's like another subplot of the movie is that they want a clean Earth and they think doing that, breaking Ghidorah and destroying part of like the human race will do that, but it just happens naturally by Godzilla. That's like Godzilla's whole thing, right?
Yep. Natural defender.
Because that's what he's supposed to be, right? And from Earth, a beast, like a being from Earth before humans. And his whole thing is that he wakes up and comes and helps humans. People they hate him at first, but then you realize he's there to help. Is his whole thing, right? I mean, from the past.
But it's kind of iffy. Yes and no.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
yes, but also in the past movies, he has like blatantly attacked people.
Okay.
But that's because that's what he is. He's like this. He is nature, like reclaiming the earth. That's like what he is, like thematically.
Okay.
And well, mostly in like the original one, he was kind of like a allegory for nuclear weapons being,
That's true. Yeah.
a destructive force.
Because that was part of the whole thing in the first one was that they were trying to destroy him by nuking him, not realizing that they were making him more powerful by nuking
Yeah.
him constantly in like the 1950s.
But don't worry, this nuke is stronger than the last nuke, so it's definitely gonna work this time.
It's gonna work. It's just keep making him bigger and stronger. It'll work just fine. Oh,
Uh,
one thing I do want to say is how cool the tagline is. Their reign begins.
ah.
Phenomenal.
I was a little, I wouldn't say bummed, but I was hoping we would get one more "let them fight."
Oh yeah.
He didn't say it this movie, but that's okay.
Can that be like that should be like your text tone. Like when you get text, it's just him saying, "Let them fight."
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to just a little bit of a Congress Godzilla talk. Or, you know what? Actually, we talked a lot about that. Here's what I want to know. Let's say there's a third Godzilla movie, separate from Congress Godzilla. What, in your mind, is your, like, dream third Godzilla movie to wrap out this trilogy that we've built so far?
Okay. So assuming Kong lives in the next movie,
Okay.
I would think. I guess he wouldn't have to be in the movie after that. That he could say like, "Oh, we went back to Skull Island to protect it" or whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows? Um, There was one monster I always forget the name of. Um, this wouldn't be my dream monster, but he was one that I remember as a kid, which was really cool. He had like these pincer arms
Okay.
and like a beak. He would be really cool. But other than him, some like really strong, another strong monster from space would be really cool. So
Okay.
like Destroya, which is I don't know how they would do it. He's giant. I mean, they're all giant, but him or like Space Godzilla would be cool. But again, I'm not entirely sure how they would do it with the themes that like the more quote quote or not. I'm not gonna say what I'm about to say, but I'm not sure how they would do it basically with this new production style and everything.
Okay.
Um, but it would be really cool. I don't know what other allies we could bring into the scene. I'm having trouble think of any besides like young Kong, which I don't want to see.
Yeah, it would be cool to have Godzilla, Kong, and Mothra like a three team fighting.
Yeah, because she
Um,
could come back. That's kind of her theme.
yeah, I'm gonna drag over something over into this feed because this is Destroya. So if you're watching the YouTube version, I have a picture of Destroya up. That would be dope.
He is really cool, but he's kind of like, um, if I were to compare him to something, I would compare him to like Galactus, I guess. He's like this massive threat, so I don't really know how they would do him.
I mean, that would be a good rap out. Is having probably what if you're saying that the biggest threat to Godzilla, or like
Hmm.
in that world, would be Destroya. That would be pretty dope.
It would, yeah. But yeah, so just give me another King of the Monsters with like a couple allies, more villains. That would be tight.
I'd be in for that. I would like to see at some point Mecha Godzilla. That's probably the one thing I really want them to do. I don't know if that's true what you're saying. If we're gonna get the next movie, I'd be in for that. But at some point, I just want to see Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, do the missile arm thing. Oh, and Jet Jaguar, of course. He could be an ally. There we
I
go.
want to know how that would be brought in. How Jet Jaguar? If you guys don't know what Jet Jaguar is, Google it because I want to know how that would be brought into modern day and not look ridiculous as hell.
I mean, they did Mothra. Mothra always looked kind of cool, I guess. But
Mothra looked really cool. Which
I mean, he's basically a Jaeger. That's basically what he is.
yeah,
He's a robot, if I remember right. They can like shrink size. Um, yeah, he could fly and alter his own size. So yeah, he would basically be a Jaeger. So it'd basically be Pacific Rim, but Godzilla. That would be amazing.
I'm in. Here's a blank check. Fill in what you feel is right so I can see this movie right now. Oh my god. All right, well, before we move on to the beer, is there anything else you'd like to say about I know probably one of your favorite movies?
I've watched it too many times.
You've seen it a lot.
That's all I can say. I've probably seen it 30 times. I don't know.
Wow.
Something like that.
Would you say you've seen it more or less than Man of Steel?
Probably more, I think.
You
I
watch
feel
Man
like
of Steel a lot.
it's a gross sentence, but yeah. I haven't watched Man. I don't know if I watched Man of Steel last year. I'll put it that way. But
Okay.
I watched this movie probably like 2-3 times last year. So
Yeah, this was one of those ones I on the show like there I'm not gonna say what the movies are, but there's some I'm like, oh god, I don't want to watch this before we record. This was one I was like, I was so happy to sit on the couch and throw on this movie, even though I just watched it not that long before. I was like so ready to sit down, just throw this movie on, just watch, and so excited to talk about it. It's one of those ones that just never gets old. You can watch it because it's not even like one of those movies that's just like senseless violence, so it's fun to watch. This is like organized chaos in such a beautiful way. It's such a good movie.
it's a good way to put it. Organized chaos.
Oh, it's so good. All right, I'm gonna move on to the beer now. If you're cool with that.
Cool.
So the brewery this week is called Ninkasi Brewing Company. This is one that Dom and I have known about for a long time. I don't know if you remember, Dom, but when I turned 21, you got me a big ass bottle of a Ninkasi beer. You got me Tricera hops.
It was surprisingly good. Like thought it would be good, but I didn't think it'd be that good.
I think you got it because the name was funny, and it ended up being a phenomenal beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tricera hops is the one I know the best, but this is called Total Domination IPA. So this is from their website. The Willamette National Forest, our brewery's backyard, is notorious for Bigfoot sightings. We've yet to see one, but if we did, we'd offer it Total Dom, a wild IPA that hits you like a mountain thunderstorm. It's sweet, piney hops, is an encounter you won't forget. Wow, I can't read this morning. Real or not, it's good to know, but if Bigfoot does exist, this is where it would call home. So, their website is super helpful for anyone who really knows a lot about beer and people who don't know a lot about beer at all. So, Total Domination is 6.7 alcohol by volume. It was released in 2006. It's available from them year-round. The hops are Summit, Amarillo, and Crystal hops. And it also, if you're curious about it, it gives you tasting notes. So it tells you like a citrusy, floral, hoppy aroma. It tells you kind of what it's going to taste like, how it's going to compare to other beers. It also gives you food pairings, saying this is going to pair really well with poultry or sharp cheeses. Like, it's really interesting how much information they give you. And allergens. It'll tell you like if there's something in there that if you have an allergy, if there's peanuts brewed in or something like that, it'll tell you that so you're aware before going in the beer, which most breweries will they barely even give you like the hops inside it. So it's really interesting that the Ninkasi gives you so much information about their beer. It's really, really cool. Total Domination's really, really good. They also have some other phenomenal beers. Like I said, Tricera Hops is really, really good. I'd highly recommend checking them out. They are located in Eugene, Oregon. So if you're from Oregon or in the area, definitely check them out. I've been to Eugene once. Beautiful city. I want to go back now to go to Ninkasi because that would be a phenomenal experience. Great beer. Great place. They also have a shop on their website, which has probably I have a light blocking my thing. Probably some of the coolest merch for a brewery I've ever seen, and I want to buy all of it. They have like sweatpants and really cool pins and masks and glasses and shirts and sweatshirts and socks and craft beer books and keychains and like hats and all this kinds of amazingly cool stuff. So I'd highly recommend them. I think they've been around for a long time. I mean, Total Domination was released in 2006. I'm sure they've been around for a very, very long time. I'm see if I can find it real quick on their website.
You know what merch I would love from them? Get like one of those drink hats where it has like a straw,
the straws.
But then have a Triceratops mask on the front.
That would be phenomenal. I would love that.
Make it.
Let's do it. I'm making it. Okay, we need a 3D printer and we can print that up.
I'll call some guys.
You got a guy who can get a guy who can do that. So Ninkasi was brewing since 2006. So Total Domination is one that they released with when they first opened up ever. So definitely check them out. Phenomenal beer. One that I've loved for a long, long time. And I think that about wraps up our Godzilla King of the Monsters podcast.
Wow. Can't believe it's already come to the end.
That was a quick almost 50 minutes. That went by real fast. Before we wrap out, though, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. We are on YouTube, all the places you get podcasts, all that. Next week, Chris will be returning to do the Prestige, so that should be a really fun episode. Got a really good beer for that from the Killer Brewing. And then after that, we have a new guest, someone who's never been on the show. We have my friend Avery coming on. We're going to do Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed for the month of April. Going to be fantastic. And just a reminder, we're going down to 2 episodes a month instead of 4 episodes a month because life's getting a little busy and I don't have time to record and edit all these things. So starting April, we'll do the first and third Monday of every month will be a new episode, and then just like that from then on. So thank you guys so much for watching. Dom, thank you so much for being here and talking about this movie with me.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
We're going to have you back sometime.
Of course.
And I'm thinking for a Congress Godzilla review.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. All right, thank you guys again so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.